Queen was forced to step in and overturn a long-standing rule so that the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge could change their Prince Louis name. The young prince is the third child of Prince William and Kate Middleton and was born on April 23, 2018, with the proud parents naming him Louis Arthur Charles. Louis' name is a popular one in the royal family, with both Prince William and Prince George having it as their middle name, in honor of Prince Charles' mentor Lord Louis Mountbatten, who died in an IRA bombing in 1979. The middle name Charles is a clear tribute to Louis' grandfather, the Prince of Wales. Like his two older siblings, Prince George and Princess Charlotte, young Louis doesn't have a surname and is formally known as His Royal Highness Prince Louis of Cambridge. But the HRH title was far from certain thanks to an old-standing rule put in place by King George V. In 1917, King George V decided that only those closest to the top line of succession would be automatically granted titles and that only sovereigns' children would automatically become a prince or princess. Any grandchildren born through the male line were also included, but great-grandchildren were not. The Queen overturned the rule, as she had done so for Prince George and all of Will and Kate's kid. Had the monarch not done so, Louis would likely have been Master Louis Cambridge or Master Louis Windsor instead. Although the long-reigning monarch extended this rule break to the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, she did not offer it to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's children. In an interview with Oprah Winfrey, Markle said, "They were saying they didn't want him to be a prince or princess, which would be different from protocol, and that he wasn't going to receive security." The Duke and Duchess of Sussex cut ties and moved away to Meghan's home state of California in March 2020. Cele Otnes, a professor of marketing specializing in how the royal family brands itself, told that events coinciding with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex's departure from the royal family stole the limelight away from their rebranding opportunities away from the firm. She said, Meghan and Harry had the rug pulled out from under them by COVID, with their attempt to try to build their brand here. COVID really yanked the headlines away. In the UK, the initial coronavirus lockdown came into force on March 23, 2020, and March 31 marked the Duke and Duchess's official exit from royal life, with a year-long transitional period. Professor Otnes, co-author of Royal Fever, added now, Russia is yanking the headlines away. China is yanking headlines away. With these continuing international crises occupying headline space, Professor Otnes said the Queen's Platinum Jubilee also confused the rebranding campaign the Duke and Duchess of Sussex would have wanted to forge ahead with. She said, in Britain, because the celebrations are happening there and they're starting now for the big Jubilee, it's more salient. She then described how they could not truly capitalize on their separation from the royal family because of how their behavior was seen in America. She said of Megxit, I think their actions were perceived as individual, self-centered actions. Part of the issue with their branding, she claimed, was the Duke and Duchess of Sussex had not grasped the source of their popularity when they were part of the royal family, and therefore had difficulty carving out a new brand in the US. Meghan saw her popularity dip in opinion polls in the wake of the Duke and Duchess's relocation across the Atlantic as they severed ties with the firm. Professor Otnes commented, Meghan doesn't understand that the popularity that she could enjoy in that brand has everything to do with royalty and very little to do with Meghan, and very little to do with Harry. She believes their branding, as well as being disrupted by pandemics and international politics, or overshadowed by royal family celebrations in the UK, is further muddled by the message sent by their titles. Meghan and Harry continue to use the Duke and Duchess of Sussex title conferred on them by the Queen, although they have been stripped of the HRH elements, their military patronages and royal affiliations. Using the Sussex title, Professor Otnes said, then became a meaningless gesture only serving to perplex the public. She claimed, I think it's kind of meaningless. If you're not involved in the royal family, and you can't use the HRH, and the Queen has said to you, fine, if you don't want to be involved, you're not involved. What does it mean? Prince Harry has lost various military titles, including Captain General of the Royal Marines, whilst Meghan no longer represents causes such as the National Theatre. They called John Wayne the Duke, that's what they called John Wayne. They called Elvis the King. Is this the level that we're on in terms of what these titles mean? Professor Otnes claimed the Duke and Duchess had not fully understood the titles have little frame of reference in the US, commenting America does not have the sort of reverence of these titles. She continued, Americans don't care about these titles because they're not in our social structure.